Team, welcome back to another episode of the Unnamed Prep Series. I hope you are very well. We are officially 3 weeks out from our first show of the season. Very fucking excited. We're going to get into the update as usual. So this time last week I predicted that my scale weight was going to be 70.5. I failed. It was 70.6. Although my lowest weigh-in was 70.2. So good. So yeah, this week was pretty fucking plain sailing. Dieted until Thursday, refeeded. Started to refeed on Thursday, Friday, Saturday to protect training performance, much like we've done throughout the whole entire prep. And then we're back to low day calories. So that's pretty much the update on food. Rate of loss is in a great position right now. So basically continuing on with the POA. That's it. In terms of training performance, that's in a very, very fucking good spot at the minute. And I actually think, just like almost correlating this back to refeeds, if I didn't have refeeds in my opinion, at this stage of prep, I don't think I'd be able to match numbers or even progress numbers this late on. And I know there's not any like direct research on, I suppose, like refeeds and diet breaks. Those clients that I've used personally in preps or fat loss phases in general, the people that I've used them with tend to come away with a lot of muscle retention, right? So we're not just like losing weight, we're losing fat and then retaining muscle, right? So yeah, as much as people wanna argue like for or against them, specifically against diet breaks, I'm definitely for them. And I would actually love to be able to somehow clone a version of me who is continually like linearly dieting versus the person who's refeeding all the time. And I would love to compare like the physique at the end, because I can pretty much guarantee that the person or the clone version of me that has like refeeded or increased calories versus linear, I guarantee this person will just look like just absolutely smoke that other person on stage. I can almost guarantee it. So do you need refeeds and stuff like that? No. If you don't have the time to push in refeeds, then I don't know, like you should have really mapped that out really, right? But yeah, in my opinion, if I'm saying like, am I pro or against them, I'm definitely on the side of pro. I'll always be on the side of pro. So yeah, that's all good. And to be honest, who the fuck doesn't like higher calorie days when they're in a fucking dieting phase? Like, I don't know anyone who doesn't like that, right? It's something to look forward to, for sure. It also like when you have them like lower calorie days, you almost like give it your all, because essentially you know a higher calorie day is coming. Whereas if you're consistently low, you're like, oh fuck, I got like 3 weeks of this shit. Like I know 1700 calories is reasonably low. I think I can go lower, to be honest. But the amount of comments that like on Instagram specifically, it's like, oh, that's really low calories. It's like, yeah, but I know a high day is coming up, like, and fucking hell, I'm only like 3 weeks out. Like if you can't diet for 1700 calories for like 2 or 3 days, like, is realistically is bodybuilding for you? No, I don't think it is. Just crack on, get on with it, right? So yeah, and the reason why, and there's a few comments like, why not drive steps up? It's like, if I showed you my day's work, right, and said let's try and push up 5k steps, I'd be like, I think you'd be like, where would you realistically push up 5,000 steps? I'd just rather just eat less, right? I'd actually rather eat 1200 calories than try and push up another 5k steps, because I quite literally like squeeze every single minute of the day trying to get as much work done as possible. And that's not like hustle culture, that's not like entrepreneur culture, that's quite simply, I've just maximized my day within an inch of its life. I just don't have any time for anything else. Specifically steps, and steps are boring as shit, I'd rather eat less. So that's that. Training performance in a good spot, life stress is in a good spot, working loads, which is fantastic because essentially I don't think about food at all. So yeah, in terms of like food focus, don't care about food at all, so that's all good. Energy levels, okay, they kind of like suffered towards the back end of the week, but then we started to refeed and then all of a sudden they started to come up again. I'm a firm believer that once once you can tell whether like, so energy levels are very, very low, you're almost like tapping into new areas of fat. So for me, when I know that I'm like really sluggish and lethargic, I know that actively I'm tapping into kind of like new fat stores, right? So I am like really getting like I'm getting screwed up energy wise for the sake of like more fat loss. So for me, it's just like, yes, I'm energyless, but at the same time I'm like, but I'm getting closer towards my goal, so I don't actually mind it. So there's that. Physique shot wise, how I'm actually looking now. This camera is fantastic. I love it. It's fucking awesome. But when I go to like take physique shots, my word, I hate it. Why? Quite simply from a very simple standpoint of it like pushes on like 5 to 10 pounds worth of fat. Like the full day of eating video that I put up just maybe on like Friday. Like, I do not look like that. I look pretty fucking crisp at the minute, and that full day of eating video, especially in the Kratos posing room lighting, which is not the best. Yeah, it just makes me look very, very watery. But yeah, I'm not. I look pretty sharp right now. So like, yeah, I'm gonna put some like physique shots up of how I'm looking through the lens of my iPhone, and you'll kind of quickly realize how close we are to being ready for the show. I think if you look at the full day of eating video, you're like, wow, you got like another like 10 weeks of dieting left. But then if you go into different lighting with a different camera that actually shows where my physique is at, it's like, okay, you could probably step on stage like next week. And to be honest, I could step on stage next week. And there is a show this weekend that I'm very, very, very tempted towards going towards. It is an untested show, but part of me is just like, might just fuck around and do it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's just, do I go to a show, have a warm up, and then go towards like the UK DFBA in May, having more stage time, or do I just go all in on one? Not sure, but yeah, that's pretty much the update, to be honest. Pretty much in a good position in terms of physique, happy with physique. Life stress is low, food is back but down to baseline as of today. I'll be very surprised I'm not like in the 69s this week. So probably like knocking at the door at like 69.7, I reckon that's where I'm going to be at. Quote me. And then apart from that, yeah, much the same. Officially 3 weeks out, or technically 6 days out if we go for that other show. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Should I do it? I don't know. Part of me's like, fucking hell, man, I might just do it. We'll see. Anyway, hope you're well. That was another episode. 3 weeks out. Then we can eat some buttery bagels.